Donald, so tell us a little bit about how you learned about Islam and give us your background.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was actually born into Catholicism, and after I guess when I went into my teenage years, I switched over to Christianity. Um, as I got older, I started learning a little bit about Islam that I didn't know you guys believed in. Well, us, I didn't know we believed in Jesus and the Virgin Mary, and that really caught my attention. And so that's what I started looking more into it. And then, the things that I knew about Islam wasn't what it is. And so as I dug more into it, it just made more sense. It felt like home to me. And it all just made sense. It just fell into place. I was always confused about who I was praying to, Jesus or God. And so this just felt like home once I started reading the Quran, and it just hit me like, this is it. This is where I belong.
That's
So
beautiful. That's so
yeah.
beautiful. SubhanAllah. Like many people like myself also, we grew up going to church, but a lot of stuff just didn't make sense. It was always like trying to do like mental gymnastics to make it make sense when it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like Jesus was God, but he was also fully human. So he did know, but he didn't know that he could do everything, but he couldn't do everything. And he restricted himself, but then he was still all powerful. And then, you would read things like Jesus praying to the Father. And I remember asking in church, like, why was he praying to the Father if he was himself God? And they're like, well, he humbled himself. I was like, okay, so then he wasn't God anymore. And they were like, no, but he was. So I was like, was he equal with the Father? They'd be like, yes, they're co-equal. And, the funny thing is, a lot of times they realize it doesn't make sense, but they're not open-minded enough, or they're not honest enough with themselves to accept the truth. Like you said, when you learn about Islam, it feels like home. It feels like the truth. It feels
Yeah.
clear. It's a clear path.
Ashhadu
Allah ilaha
alla ilaha
illallah.
illallah
Wa
wa
ashhadu
ashhadu
anna
anna
Muhammada
Muhammada
abduhu
abduhu
wa rasuluh.
wa rasuluh.
Allahu Akbar.